Bill.
Okay. You're good.
Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to everybody and welcome. I will call to order this special meeting of the Lawrence County Board of Elections. Today is Wednesday, February 14, 2024. And I'll note that this meeting was advertised in accordance with the Sunshine Law. The legal ad did appear. And so we'll call the meeting to order, and as we always do, we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. And Tim, would you lead us in the pledge?
I certainly will. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Chris, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Sinata,
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Here.
Commissioner Vogler.
Here. We have a quorum. We always have time during our meetings for public comment, both now and prior to adjournment. Ask that if you do have any public comments, that they be related to election board matters. Now, I'll note as we begin this meeting right now, there are no members of the public in the room. And if anyone should come in, we'll give them that opportunity. In our packet, as you may recall, we just met yesterday, and it's that time of year, and a lot of what we focused on yesterday was moving of some of the polling places. So the minutes of that meeting are already in front of us. So gentlemen, I'll give you whatever time you need. We'll look them over, and whenever one of my fellow members is ready, we could take a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
I'll second. Thank you both, gentlemen. Give me one more second if you would, please. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Are there any concerns regarding the minutes? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is the election director's report, and that is Mr. Germaini. Before I do that, forgive me, I need to give both Commissioner Kennedy and Commissioner Sinata any opening statements or concerns that you have. Okay, thank you, Chris. Okay, thank you both. Mr. Germaini.
Well, I gave the stats yesterday. Nothing's really changed for those numbers. But one thing I would like to share are some dates that are coming up. Yesterday actually was the last day to circulate and file the nomination petitions. So that was the deadline. Those would go to Harrisburg, of course. Then today would be the first day to circulate and file nomination papers. Difference is off parties, I guess we call them. So if you're a Libertarian or Green or any other party, today would be the first day for those to circulate.
And Tim, they secure those petitions also from Harrisburg, is that
That's correct, yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
And also, for all of the candidates that you're referencing, do they file their expense reports in Harrisburg?
We get a copy as well,
I see. Okay,
but it needs to go to Harrisburg.
thank you.
Yeah, they will follow with us. February 21st will be the ballot lottery. That's where they'll draw for positioning. Then the 28th will be the last day for withdrawal for candidates who filed their petitions. And I expect around that time that I'll get a candidates list from the state, and I can start to complete the ballot.
Tim, may I interrupt you again? I
Yes.
hate to keep doing
No,
that too.
not at all.
Let me take you back to the 21st.
Yes.
February.
Uh-huh.
For the, that's the lots that are drawn.
Yeah, they'll do that in Harrisburg.
That's done in Harrisburg.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, uh-huh.
In the municipal elections, it's done in this
Yeah.
room. And as the election board, we're allowed to participate. We don't have to worry about that till next year.
Right.
Thank you, Tim. I'm
Yes,
sorry to
that's
interrupt.
not a problem. And then, so then, like I said, the 28th will be the last day for any candidates that want to withdraw, who filed the petition, then I'll have a candidates list after that. Given that I have no court cases pending with any objections, that is also in the works too. So not that I know of any, but I have to wait for all that for a candidates list, and then we'll know who's on the ballot. Last day to register to vote for this primary will be April 8th. And then the last day to apply for a mail-in or absentee ballot will be April 16th. And then, of course, we have the primary election on April 23rd. So those are upcoming dates that we have. Other than that, that's all I have to report.
Any questions for Mr. Germaini? No. Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.
Are you ready for new business?
I am, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yesterday at our public meeting of this board, we talked about the need to move 2 precincts that have been voting at one location. The location is St. John's Lutheran Church on Highland Avenue in the city of Newcastle in the 2nd Ward. And as I mentioned, 2 precincts have been voting in that facility. Newcastle 2nd Ward, 5th Precinct, and also Newcastle's 2nd Ward, 4th Precinct. St. John's Lutheran Church will no longer be available to us. So Mr. Germaini has reached out to a couple of different entities. And at today's meeting, we are going to consider changing the polling place for one of the 2 precincts, specifically Newcastle 2nd Ward, 5th Precinct. And then we anticipate in the near future that we will reconvene and discuss a location for Newcastle 2-4. And as we talked yesterday, we also contemplate moving the polling place in the 7th Ward of Newcastle. So our expectation is that in the near future, we'll reconvene to consider at least those 2. But today, Tim wants to talk with us about moving Newcastle 2nd Ward, 5th Precinct. If you want to tell us what you're proposing, please.
My proposal to get that over to the Church of God. Initially, I was in a jam, and I was going to put both those precincts in Glenmore Church, but the more I thought about it, the more logistics it would have been too many voters. I mean, it just the area we're talking about right now is 1,050 voters.
In that one precinct.
Correct. So if I would, altogether, it was over, well, it would be over 2,000 voters. So having 3 precincts would have congested the polling spot. So Church of God, I reached out to, they had a board meeting and they don't have a problem with us going there. So I figured I would move the larger of the 2 precincts on its own to ease up any congestion at Glenmore. So that's why I want to do this.
Well, thank you. Before I turn it over to my colleagues, first I want to ask, what number is this resolution?
It will be 06.
6. Thank you. This is Election Board Resolution 2024-6. The only question I have is that we did discuss this yesterday, but since this is a new meeting, I think we need to talk about it again, make it part of the record. The First Church of God at 12 West Euclid Avenue does sit in Neshannock Township. However, the election law permits us locating a polling place in a contiguous or bordering precinct. So Newcastle 2nd Ward, 5th Precinct does border Neshannock Township. And
Yes.
that way we are permitted to locate the polling place at this facility, which is
Yes.
part of your proposal here.
Yes.
Thank you for confirming that.
And we've done that in the past. For example, before we went to the Armory, it was at Botech, and Botech was in Shenango, but yeah, it was still Newcastle.
So there is a precedent.
Yes, yes, so,
And actually, West Euclid is really just a stone's throw from the city line. Mercer Street, as you gentlemen probably know, North Mercer Street is the dividing line. Everything west of North Mercer Street is Shannick, and everything east is the city. So 12 West Euclid is not that far from the line. Mr. Kennedy, do you have questions for Mr. Germain? Okay, thank you. Mr. Sonata?
No, just what you said, Chairman, I think you're correct. I don't even think it's a half a mile from the city.
Not far at all.
I mean, it's literally right on that border, so I think that works. The question is, Mr. Jermaine.
Yes,
When you say contiguous, is it a contiguous municipality or is it a contiguous voting precinct?
to the precinct.
Okay, so that would be in the Shannon 6.
I think that would be
One.
one.
Oh, in the Shannon 1, yes, I'm sorry, I was thinking.
Because I live across the street, I'm in Shannon once.
Yeah, the Shannon 1, I know that, I was thinking challenges.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Okay. Shannon 6, yeah.
And I did reach out to Challenges, and they were very, very gracious with, but they could not shut the facility down for voting, so.
Right, I know you had mentioned that
Yeah.
earlier, which would have been a nice place as well.
Oh, yeah.
They're very busy up there.
Very busy, very, very busy.
I think the Church of God would be an excellent
Okay,
location,
very good.
maybe accessible.
Yes.
They're good people over there.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Now, as you noted yesterday, with these polling locations changing, the law requires you, or your office, to send out a written notification to all of the voters who reside in Newcastle 2-5.
Yes.
So they'll be getting correspondence advising them that they will now vote on April 23rd. If they wish to vote in person, they will vote at the First Church of God at 12 West Euclid Avenue. And I think you said this yesterday. I assume you're going to ask prior locations, St. John's, if they will allow you to put a sign on their door.
I have to do that.
Yes,
Yeah, I have to
okay,
do that.
advising if a voter
Yeah.
happens to go there,
Yeah.
they can read and say, whoops, I gotta go to.
Right,
Okay.
yes, those will be posted.
Gentlemen, before I take a motion, just want to make sure there are no other questions. Either of you have them. Okay. Well, this is proposed resolution 6 for the Board of Elections. It's resolved that the polling place for the 2nd Ward, 5th Precinct of the City of Newcastle shall be moved from St. John's Lutheran Church to the First Church of God, specifically located at 12 West Euclid Avenue, Newcastle, Pennsylvania 16105. Notice of this change has been duly completed per Election Code statute, which is the state law that we are governed by, 25 PS 2726. May I have a motion for this resolution, please?
I move that we accept the resolution.
Thank you. Chris, is there a second?
I'll second.
Dan, thank you very much. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask for a roll call.
Commissioner Sanada,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. And then, as we noted earlier, we anticipate in the near future reconvening the board to give consideration to moving Newcastle 2nd Ward, 4th Precinct, and also the location that currently serves the voters in the 7th Ward of the City of Newcastle, and any other requests or changes that we may have to consider. So we'll wait for Tim to let us know when he's ready to do that, and then we can do the appropriate legal ad and then reconvene this board. For public comment, I will note that there are no members of the public in the room at this time. But before we adjourn, let me see if my colleagues have anything else they want to bring up or talk about. Mr. Kennedy, anything?
No.
Good. Thank you. Mr. Samad?
No.
Thank you very much. Chris or Tim, anything we maybe overlooked?
No, I think that's it.
All righty. Well, thank you all very much. May I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you very much. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye, opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. The meeting is adjourned. And Mr. Ordinaro will conclude the broadcast.
There.